the opportunities and the constraint in building East Asian regionalism, and what are the role of Korea in building peace and prosperity in East Asian Mediterranean era. First, I would like to start with the power shift, global hegemonic power shift. Global hegemonic power shift was from Mediterranean world in long 16th century to the called the Atlantic world. In other words, the Pax Britannica, and in 20th century, the power shifted to Pax Americana, and since the 21st century, with the rise of China, the world is entering into the era of East Asian Mediterranean world. So, compared to international system of long 16th century Mediterranean world, the East Asian Mediterranean has many similarities. 16th century Mediterranean world has some characteristics of multi-level, polycentric, horizontal, but asymmetrical and networking structures. And Ottoman Empire played the role of hammer, and realpolitik dominated, and economic interest predominate over religious faith and political military hegemonic competition. So East Asian Mediterranean world shares many similarities of the long 16th century European Mediterranean world. And the East Asian Mediterranean era start with the decline of the Cold War era. Since mid-60s, there was a detente between United States and Soviet Union and China. So there is started with the embryonic forms of regional institutions and organizations. And ASEAN started first by forming the ASEAN, and to increase in the collective action power. And Japan played the role by leading, flying geese model. And the critical point is the opening of China. And since tipping point was the East Asian financial crisis in 1997. East Asian financial crisis has a good motivation for forming a enabling, collective action by forming the regional institutions, such as the APT and SCO and ABMI and ABF, CMI, and recently TPP and RCEP and AIIP. And but still, East Asian regionalism has some limitations, and some compared to the EU. First, I would like to point out it under-institutionalized. So East Asian regionalism needs more formality and more control mechanism and more institutional organizations. And second, it is mostly market-driven and the corporate-driven. So East Asian regionalism needs more top-down process, and needs more the role of the state, not the bottom-up, market. And there are four major obstacles to East Asian regionalism. First one is the rise of nationalism. You know, in EU, the nationalism receded and enabled the supranational, regional institution like EU. But in East Asia, with the globalization, we have a more kind of rampant nationalism with regard to history and territorial dispute. And North Korean question, North Korean nuclear issue still is not resolved. There are many immovable pessimism.
在那个里头，你那个在里边有那种方块的那种。
Regional heterogeneity is dominant in terms of economy, in terms of political regimes, culture, language.
它是电子金用下节用的。
East Asian countries. So East Asian region, East Asia has lack of vision and leadership. And lastly, I would like to talk about then what are the role of Korea, role of South Korea, building peace and prosperity in East Asia that are here. First, Korea can make a Asian crescent of peace and prosperity in the map, from Mongolia to programs of ODA and smart power and leading laws. And Korea need to kind of triadic, balance of power with the China and Japan. So Korea need to build, economic community of 70 million Koreans, and Korea need to create strengthening alliance with United States to make a external balancing. And Korea can make a role of bridge state in making East Asian identity and in increasing East Asian connectability. So with Korea can provide the role model of interreligious peace in East Asia, because in Korea, religious activity is very vibrant, but Christians, Protestant, Catholics, and Buddhists, coexist peacefully. So such kind of interreligious pluralism can provide, interreligious peace in a role model in East Asia, and Korean way, can promote, supranational and international cultural exchange and communications. So that contributes to formation of shared identity and regional, community. And lastly, Korea has to build, inter-Korean peace before reunifications. Until now, there are many imminent collapse of North Korean regime, but North Korean regime survived. So it means sanction rarely works for, dismantling, nuclear weapons. So therefore, we need to build, inter-Korean peace must be done before reunification of Korea, and to build, reunification, peace building before reunification. we need, we need the, with many, trial and error and of 30 years experience and experiment, it turns out that the unification by military conflict and unification by absorption are not desirable and should be avoided at all costs. So the only option for reunification of two Koreas is a peaceful and negotiated settlement, orderly transition to reunification through soft landing and gradual approachment. Two Koreas must put inter-Korean peace rather than reunification as the first priority agenda on the negotiation table between two Koreas. That's my presentation.